Okay, we're going to get into care and cleaning of the peace pipe and the heating pen. This is really, really important. Reason being is if it's not cared for like anything else, if you don't do your regular maintenance, it's not going to function as well as it should or could. Also, you're just going to have better performance. You're going to be happier with it. So it's designed to be very simple and easy to keep clean, unlike most products related to dabbing. But the thing is, like any product related to dabbing, dabbing does leave behind residual, resin. Okay, so resin is the thing that kind of gets into everything. It clogs everything up. It just gets into everything. Again, with the efficiency of this device, there is not a lot of excess resin outside of the bowl. So long as you're doing it properly, the majority of the resin should be converted to vapor, and you should be inhaling that. So there should not be a lot left behind. But what's going to happen is it will build up around the bowl. And that's just because that's the closest place to where the sublimation takes place. So this edge around the bowl here can get a little bit sticky. What happens is it then sticks to your material, and then you're kind of dealing with trying to get it off of there, and then it's stuck to the sides, all of that. Just use your alcohol pads that are provided in the case here. And just go ahead and take it and just spin it. Spin your bowl inside the alcohol pad here as you hold it between your thumb and your index finger, or that's my second finger, and just spin it. And so now I'm just getting into the corners here, and I'm getting the entire exterior surface of the bowl clean. So that way you don't have your material sticking to the outside of the bowl. It should be on the inside of the bowl, not the outside of the bowl, okay? Now, the other thing is, another area where resin likes to go and likes to hang out is the inner tube behind the spring perch that the bowl resides in. So this tube here will collect quite a bit over time. What you want to do for cleaning position is get your mouthpiece all the way pushed up to your primary bushing here. Get it all the way tight. That exposes the end of the inner tube. Then, the reason why you have an X-Acto knife in your kit, your case, is so that you can then get the material scraped off, okay? Scrape this way and scrape that material off onto, it'll stay on the knife, and just turn this and scrape. Just spin it and scrape. And you will then get all of the material, the resin scraped off of this. Now there will be some residual left behind. Take your alcohol swab, or again, alcohol on a rag, and go ahead and place it here with your index finger or your thumb and just spin it. Okay, just spin it, just clean it off. Okay, get that resin residual off of there so you have a nice smooth surface. If this thing starts to get kind of sticky and it does not move back and forth smoothly, this is normally going to be the culprit. Because what happens is it builds up and it makes the inner tube and the outer tube kind of have sticky material between the two. It doesn't operate nice and smoothly. Another thing you can do also, if you have a tremendous amount of buildup here on the spring perch, you can clean that off with one of the brushes provided. Again, you don't want to have a lot of buildup on the spring perch because this is your fresh air intake. You want to have this nice and clean. So your carb holes here, your secondary carb holes, allow you to bring fresh air in here. So you can clean that off with your brush here. Okay, just spin it on your brush and get that real nice and clean. You now have a clean bowl, a clean spring perch, and a clean inner tube here. That's going to be regular maintenance. That really is the majority of the maintenance that you'll need to do, and that's most of the maintenance that you'll need to be doing. Now, as far as the heating pen is concerned, you're going to have some resin buildup here on the safety cap, what we call the cage, which is the area that surrounds the upper portion of the heating rod where the heating tip resides. So just to clean that off, again, you can just kind of wipe it off here with your alcohol pad, and that's pretty much all you need to do in terms of regular cleaning. Let's talk a little bit about deep cleaning. If you need to get into deep cleaning, which you may have to do from time to time, again, take off your safety cap just like you would if you're preparing it to charge. And then what you're going to do is you can use your small brush and you can enter through the end of the safety cap here, and you can clean this out here. You can get it into here, into the cage, okay, and you can get the stuff out of here in the cage. You can also clean the spring by pushing it all the way through into the spring and pulling it back out. Now, while you're doing this with the brush, this is why we provide this little jar, fill your little jar with rubbing alcohol, and you can just dip the brush down in the jar, or you can use the dropper so that you have some alcohol on your brush when you're using it to clean the safety cap. You can also use this small brush to clean the inside of the bowl. If you do by chance have some sort of buildup in there, just again, simply just get this in some alcohol, put it in the end of the bowl, and push it all the way through, okay? And it will clean out this bowl and also the little porthole in the bottom of the bowl. And so that way, and again, just spin it and clean the bowl out with this, with your smaller brush. That pretty much takes care of the maintenance here. Now the other thing is the heating rod and tip. While you have the cap off, if you have some buildup on the heating rod and the tip, you can just simply wipe that off with your alcohol. And again, if you need to brush it off a little bit, you can. But again, just use your alcohol that's provided, your swab, little, whatever you call those. What are these things called anyways? It's a prep swab, right? Okay, so that cleans the heating rod, heating tip. This is your safety cap, cleaned. Everything's good to go here. Okay, all done. Now getting back to this, there is one thing that you may have to do from time to time, again, depending on use, and that is give this a thorough cleaning on the outer tube. So if you find that you have cleaned off the end of the inner tube and it still is sticking and it's just not as smooth as it used to be, pull, and you can kind of twist and pull at the same time. Twist and pull your inner tube out of your outer tube, like so. Okay, it's going to get a little bit sticky here at the primary bushing. Just twist it and keep pulling it out. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove this inner tube completely from the outer tube without dropping it. Okay, try not to drop it. All right, do as I do, not as I say. No, do as I say, not as I do. That's what they say. All right, so now you have this separated. What you can do now is you can clean the entire length of this because you may find that there's buildup, and what's happening is there's a secondary bushing inside the tube here. There could be buildup, and more than likely there is buildup on this secondary bushing. So that just continues to coat this as you slide this back and forth. So clean this off, get this thing nice and smooth and clean. Then what you're going to want to do is you can dip your large brush into your alcohol, or just put some alcohol on here with the dropper, and you're going to want to push this into the open end, not the mouthpiece end, the open end of the outer tube, back and forth. Make sure you're penetrating deep enough to clean that bushing that's down in there. So go all the way down until it bottoms out. Well, I'm sorry, you can go all the way through. So just keep going all the way through here. That way you can clean both bushings. This allows you to clean the primary bushing here and the secondary bushing that resides up in the middle here. You can't see it, it's there. So just alcohol, brush, back and forth, get those bushings cleaned out. Now what I was thinking about was the mouthpiece. So I was getting myself confused. One more thing you can do also is if you feel that this is getting a little clogged, if you don't have the ability to inhale the volume that you're used to inhaling, this is more likely the culprit. This mouthpiece is clogged. So what you're going to want to do, again, put some alcohol on your small brush and run it through the mouthpiece and get this mouthpiece cleaned out. It's a little sticky without the alcohol. Just do that a few times. Get the resin, if there's any resin buildup in the mouthpiece, you can get that cleaned out with the small brush, some alcohol. Just go back and forth a few times. You've got the mouthpiece cleaned out. Now you can go ahead and put this back together. Very simple. Enter through your primary bushing. Give it a little bit of a push to get past that bushing. And twist it a little bit as you're going in. Okay, and then you'll feel sometimes that secondary bushing. Just go right through the secondary bushing and voila, okay, you are back in business and this thing is fully cleaned and ready to go, ready to keep on going. So just keep in mind what you need to do in terms of cleaning both of these to keep them working well for you. to give you the best possible performance and experience, and it gets all provided for you in the kit. So everything is here, everything that you need. All it takes from you is a little bit of time and energy, and you'll have great experience in the process. So thanks for watching, and enjoy yourself. Till the next time, be at peace. We'll see you soon.